Imagine stepping back into 1906 Chicago. The city is booming, earning its title as hog butcher for the world. At the heart of it all, the Union Stock Yards. A sprawling, chaotic metropolis of livestock and slaughter. But behind the curtain of industrial progress was a nightmare so grotesque, it would turn the nation's stomach. It all started in 1865. The Union Stock Yards opened, and with refrigerated rail cars, Chicago became the undisputed king of meat packing. By 1900, giants like Armour and Swift, known as the Big Four, were processing millions of animals a year. They pioneered the disassembly line, a marvel of efficiency that could break down a hog in seconds. But this efficiency came at a horrifying human cost. The workers, mostly immigrants from Eastern Europe chasing the American dream, found themselves in a real-life hell. They endured 12-hour shifts on blood-soaked killing floors for just 15 cents an hour. The air was thick with the stench of death and chemicals that pickled their fingers white. Tuberculosis was rampant. A moment's distraction could mean a sliced tendon from a razor-sharp knife or, worse, a fall into a rendering vat, becoming part of the very product they produced. There was no safety gear, no mercy, just the relentless demand to work faster, beyond the factory walls. Life was no better. Families were crammed into filthy tenements in a neighborhood called back of the yards. The nearby Chicago River, nicknamed Bubbly Creek, literally bubbled with animal waste and blood. This was the brutal reality hidden from the American dinner table. Then, a young socialist writer named Upton Sinclair decided to expose it all. He spent 7 weeks working undercover in the stockyards, gathering stories of unimaginable suffering. His novel, *The Jungle*, followed a Lithuanian immigrant whose hopes were crushed by the gears of the meat-packing machine. Sinclair wrote of rats being swept up with meat scraps and tossed into hoppers, of spoiled meat being doused with chemicals to hide the rot, and of workers who fell into vats being boiled down and canned. He famously said, "I aimed at the public's heart, and by accident I hit it in the stomach." And he was right. The book was an instant sensation, selling 150,000 copies in weeks. The public was disgusted. President Theodore Roosevelt, initially skeptical, sent his own investigators. Their report confirmed the horrors were even worse than Sinclair described. The outcry was so massive that Congress was forced to act. In 1906, they passed two landmark laws, the Meat Inspection Act, which established federal oversight of slaughterhouses, and the Pure Food and Drug Act, which created the FDA and banned contaminated food. American meat exports plummeted as the world recoiled in horror. The Union Stock Yards finally closed in 1971, but the echoes of *The Jungle* remain. The industry is still heavily consolidated, and recent events have shown that worker safety is still a critical issue. Ironically, some of Chicago's old meatpacking districts are now trendy nightlife spots. Their bloody history paved over. Over a century later, Sinclair's work serves as a chilling reminder: when profit is the only goal, humanity is the first thing to be slaughtered. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history.